Alright guys, so this is day 2 of the Datsun 280ZX head gasket and cylinder head replacement. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to call this series yet. I have yet to edit the first episode. Anyway, since I'm still waiting on some parts, like the exhaust manifold and a couple of little things that are kind of irrelevant to everything. I'm going to just start cleaning up the head. I'm going to start off by taking off all the spark plugs, all the accessories that I don't need, like this bracket right here, the tube in the front, the thermostat housing. Probably see if I can take these rockers off because I got the valve stem seals. I might as well replace them. But basically, I'm just trying to clean everything off, get the old gaskets off, like the valve cover gasket that's still flicked onto here. I got some brake clean, some razor blades, and a sponge with the Brillo pad on it. And yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna do. I do have that roll-off disc, but that roll-off disc is not really meant for aluminum, so I want to try to avoid using that. I'll use that one on the engine block. We do sell the roll-off wheels that do work with aluminum. They're the white discs, but I want to try to avoid that, and even then trying to get that in where these lifters are, or whatever. It's a little bit of a pain. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start stripping this down, get the spark plugs out, get that bracket off, get the thermostat housing off, clean everything up as much as possible, and get a lot of the sludge out from inside the head. And that'll be basically it for the day. I might put the cylinder head back on the engine today, just so I close it up. Right now I just got the valve cover sitting on top where the pistons are. But I don't know yet, because it's supposed to rain today and I have no idea. So anyway, I'm going to get these spark plugs out, get these all cleaned up, and get back to you as soon as possible. Alright, so I got the head about stripped down as I can, / care to get down to. I took off the rockers, I got the lash pads out. I was trying to take the valve springs out, but apparently these are dual valve springs. My little compressor that I have down there can't grip onto the second valve spring in the middle. I'm going to need the one that kind of clamps around the head to get them out. So I'm going to just leave those alone. Hopefully it doesn't burn oil. Like I said, I was trying to replace the what they're called, valve stem seals. Worst case scenario, I could always do it later. Just gotta buy the tool. Or buy a better tool that I guess, I don't know. I'll have to figure that out later. But right now I'm not gonna worry about it. I got the little block-off plate for the fuel pump out. The plate for my power steering pump goes over this, so that's why I had to get this one off specifically. I don't know if I have this gasket, so I'm probably just going to silicone this. I got the little inspection cover for the timing chain out too. Mainly because I got the new gasket, so I might as well change it. I tried to get these studs out, but I can't find my vice grips to get on the end right here. And I don't have two nuts of the same size to do the double nut method, so I'm just going to leave those alone. I'll try to clean up around them as best as possible. And I also got the springs out. Not that big. So next thing to do, and I also got the spark plugs out. Probably the next thing to do is take some brake cleaner and tilt the head up and spray it all down. Then get my Brillo pad or the razor blades and start scraping off the valve cover gasket or what's left of it. Whoever owned this head before me did no and put silicone with the gasket on it, so I think that's probably what's going on with here. So anyway, let me go ahead and get that all started and cleaned out. I'll get back to you when I'm getting ready to do a scrape the gasket off and whatnot. So see y'all in just a little bit. I also got the covers that housing off as well. It's a little nasty in there, not too bad, nowhere near as bad as the one that's on the car. But I guess they lost the bolt because they just went straight through the housing with this bolt. So yeah, good thing I'm the one on P79 head is still good. So I am going to just switch these over. Like I said, unlike the P79 head, it's got the cylinder temperature sensor right here. Cylinder head temperature sensor right here. And this is the sensor for the EFI, for the water temperature sensor. I believe this is the one for the gauge, and I think this is just a bypass hose for the idle air valve, idle air control valve, and this is the one for the injector fan. On the P79 head, it has the one for a gauge, a little different type. It has the EFI sensor and some other thing right here. And this is on the side of the head, which I believe is what this is all about. So I'll see if I could switch it over. Anyway, let me get this all cleaned up, and I'll get back to you in just a second. So it ain't perfect, but I got the valve cover gasket surface cleaned up enough. Same thing with the intake exhaust covered. Intake and exhaust manifold gasket surface. It's not perfect, but it's good enough from my usage. Had a little trouble around right here. Probably work on that a little bit more. Overall, clean up really nicely. The one thing I'm very confused about is the exhaust ports. The M42 head, at least by what I read, is supposed to have square exhaust ports. These are clearly round. Now they don't have the insert like the P79 head has, so I guess that's a plus. But yeah, I'm not sure if these were modified to fit a round port exhaust manifold, or that's literally how these are cast. As I do put my finger in here, and I do feel like a shoulder. It does feel square inside of the port itself, but that's clearly a round hole, which confuses me because you think you want to keep the edges smooth enough and know you don't have any shoulders or anything to cause turbulence or ruin the exhaust flow. So that is, and it's on all 6 cylinders, so that is very confusing. I still got to clean up in here. I'll do that last because there's a lot of oil in there, and I'll do that over the trash can. Just hit it quickly with the brake clean to get the dust and stuff out of there. Same thing with the whole exhaust, all the ports. Anyway, I'm fixing to spin this around and work on the head gasket surface, which isn't really that bad. I think I'm literally just going to take the sponge, as worn out as it is, and just do quick cleaning on it. And that'll pretty much be it for today. I still got to do these surfaces over here as well, but yeah, that'll pretty much be it for today. Like I said, I might stick this on the engine today. I don't know, probably not. But because I still got to clean the engine block, I still got to figure out how to get to top dead center, because it's just a little bit past top dead center, or a little bit before. I have a hard time seeing the marks on the Hallmark balancer, so it's not that I get bad eyesight. I think it's just rusty, and I can't see the marks on the guide, the marks on the indicator, and the little notch on the Hallmark balancer itself. Just gotta take a water brush in there and probably clean it up a little bit. But I'll do that later on. Probably later on today. It looks like it's getting ready to rain. It's supposed to be 50% chance today, so that's why I'm doing this easy stuff first. So yeah, so let me go ahead and finish up the cylinder head, and I'll show you the end results, and that'll be pretty much it for today. See y'all in a few minutes. Alright, so I got the cylinder head relatively cleaned up. It's not perfect. I'm gonna probably work on it a little bit longer after this clip. I just discovered a couple things that would technically trash his head, and one of the smaller ones that could be cause a problem later on down the road if I'm not up to maintenance on it. It's this right here. It's a little bit of corrosion. It's very close pretty close to the combustion chamber. I got the gasket that came off the engine. It's actually the same exact gasket I'm going to use. If I take it, lay it down, and try to center it up just right, about where it's going to sit on the head, that corrosion is just before the firing, which is this little metal bit right here. So it should be fine. Either way, I'm going to use that copper gasket spray that I used on the truck when I put that motor together. It kind of added a little extra sealing surface. And these gaskets do crush a little bit as well. So with the copper spray and the crushing of this gasket should seal that up, no problem. The other thing that would technically trash his head for sure is a tiny crack. You're probably not going to be able to see it on the camera. Right here between the intake and exhaust valves on cylinder 4. That right there would definitely trash his head. I'm still going to use this head because I'm stubborn. I paid a little bit of money for it. Not a lot, so technically it's not that big of a loss. But I don't want to put the low compression head back on the motor, especially since I had an overheat problem. Technically, the best thing to do would be just write this off as a loss and see if we can find another one. But like I said, I'm not about to do that because I'm stubborn. If it bites me in the behind later on and whatever, that's why I try to have 2 vehicles running at all times. That way, one goes down, I have the other one to go. Anyway, it's getting ready to rain. I'm pretty sure you hear it in the background. You can see the wind blowing. But yeah. So technically, this head is bad, but I'm gonna still use it. I do want to, since this head does allow me enough. Since this head will give me only like 8.4 to 1 compression, since that is an M42 block and this is an M42 cylinder head, I could technically boost it. I think if I decide to do that, I'll probably look for another head, or I'll just send it and see what happens. If I do boost it, it'll be supercharged, which I got a couple ideas for that. I don't want to do the turbocharger because the turbocharger, with this kind of damage, will probably, once it spools up, it's going to be all or nothing. Where the supercharger, kind of, since it runs off the speed of the engine, it kind of rev into the boost rather than, load into the boost. So that'll probably be less strain on, say, this fire ring right here and that crack. Theoretically, I could take this up to a machine shop, have that fix. What they'll do, they'll weld a patch right there and grind it down smooth. They probably could do that to all of these. It'll be a little expensive, and they could do the same thing to this right here. But if it gives me a problem, it gives me a problem. I'll have the other cylinder head to put back on the car if I have the problem. Basically, what I'm saying. Because that cylinder head, I think, is still good. I haven't looked at the bottom of it yet, because I literally just pulled it off the engine. But I do have a backup. I will have a backup cylinder head, provided that one's fine. So with that being said, that's pretty much going to end it for this video. I don't know when this is going to stop. It's probably on this Florida, so it'll probably last for only like an hour, 2 hours. I might put this on the engine later on today. If not, I'll clean up the block. I'll do that off camera just because it's easier. So like I said, I have to figure out how to set that to top to center without moving that tool and dropping the chain down to the engine. Because like I said, I was having trouble looking at the timing indicator. That's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, I'm gonna go get this all cleaned up. Get my TV all cleaned up. Put this back in the car, in the trunk of the car. Cover it up so it don't rust up. And y'all know what to do. Please follow me on Instagram. I have the username in the description. Be safe, have fun, and just wait for stay tuned for the next video. Alright guys, so I got the cylinder engine block cleaned down pretty good. It is kind of starting to flash rust a little bit, but it's alright. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it down one more time before I put the head on. The head, I also spent a little more time with it. I did use the little roll-lock wheel. I set to low setting, a low pressure, because I wasn't really happy with the way it was coming out. Now it's much better. Good enough in my opinion where it will seal on both sides. I did notice that 6 also has a little bit of a crack too, so 4 and 6 have that slight crack. And of course cylinder 5 right here still has that bit of pitting. Like I said, I'm going to use that copper spray on the gasket. Probably do like 2 or 3 coats on both sides. And hopefully that will give enough sealing ability to kind of null that out. I'll probably do the same thing on this side, even though I'm not really too worried about, because there's not really that many burrs. There's a couple like around right here and whatnot, but the gasket's kind of more like a square gasket, so all where the gasket seals will be around this, so it's not going to. Well, let me rephrase it. All these burrs and stuff like that will be on the inside of the gasket, so that's pretty much null and void. So same thing with all the other little burrs and stuff like that, like right here. It's not that big of a problem. I also did a little bit on the top end. I soaked it down with a little bit of brake cleaner too to get a lot of this crap out here. Like I said, I am going to do an oil change on this engine before I start it up. And when I do that, when I put the oil in, I'm going to hit this with one more thing of brake cleaner, and I just got to buy another bottle to get a lot of the little dust out of it. Then I'm going to drain the oil out of the car, and then when I put the oil in, I'll just pour it over everything so everything gets lubed. And I'm going to use a little bit of assembly lube on the pivot points right here, and on the lash things, and of course on the cam itself. But yeah, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get that gasket situated. That way I could get at least the cylinder head on and torqued tonight. I'll worry about the camshaft probably tomorrow after I come home from work. I did manage to get the edge out top to the center. I cleaned off the little indicator over here, the timing indicator. And I spun the engine by the alternator. I just had to add a little bit more tension to the belt. I think I'm going to have to tighten this belt up. And I did little by little. I spun it a little bit, then I pulled on the side of the chain while pushing down on the tool. So so I didn't have to worry about messing with the tensioner. So that's how I did that. And I did, like I said, I did little increments, so I didn't knock the chain off the bottom sprocket underneath. So that's basically how I did it. And basically 0 degrees is the very first mark. The timing indicator's got like little teeth on it. Is the very first tooth. That's 0 degrees, and I think like 5 teeth on the bottom is 10 degrees. That's why I'm going to set the timing at 10 degrees when I get everything all set up and put back together. But that's the final touch. Anyway, yeah. And with this cylinder head, I will be able to reuse my stock exhaust manifold, though I'm going to try to get this changed out. It would probably be an eBay set, but an eBay set of long tube headers, just because, mainly for aesthetics. And aesthetically, this is one of the better exhaust manifolds because it's got the diamond-shaped ports. So this one, I believe, is compatible with either or square port or round port. So I think this engine was replaced. I think that's the whole reason why I'm having mismatched parts, because 81s really should start using the F54 blocks. But I'm assuming the stock engine had a problem with it, so they swapped this engine in, well, at least the block in, and used a P79 cylinder head. I don't know, I've been running into a lot of weird things. And apparently this N42 cylinder head, the reason why it's got the round ports and a little bung welded onto the side, just because it's for like a different class of L28 L28 engines. So that kind of explains that. And yeah, like I said, compression is still going to be like 8.4, 8.3 to 1, which is fine. It's still a lot better than what was on it with the other cylinder head. And it still gives me enough room for an add boost later on, which, like I said, I'm going to probably go supercharger, because I don't feel like changing out the cross member in the power steering box. So what I'm going to do, I'm probably put a supercharger in place of the power steering pump, because these cars are really light to drive without power steering. So that's probably what I'm going to do, but that's going to be a video way far in the future. I think the first vehicle that's going to get supercharged probably the truck, because it's already set up with the EFI and all that on this, so I have to change the EFI, do some things with the distributor, add some type of crank trigger wheel to the harmonic balancer. It's a whole mess of worms, but I'm going to go ahead and use the bathroom, then get the head gasket paint set up with that copper spray. I'm probably going to do 2 coats per side. See if I can find a tree or something like that too, so I can hang it and spray it. That way I get both sides all done at once. Yeah, and like I said, I'm going to place it down on it, clean this up one more time, place it down on the engine, put the cylinder head on it, torque it down. One thing I wish I was able to do that I'm not able to do is thread chase these bolt holes, because I don't have a thread tracer, and I went to AutoZone earlier to get the brake cleaner, and they didn't have the right size. They had standard, but didn't have metric, and the kit they had was actual like thread taps. I'm not trying to tap the threads, I'm trying to clean them out, but yeah, that's unfortunate. What I'll probably do is take one of the old cylinder head bolts, clean it up real quick, and screw it down and then unscrew it. That way it kind of pulls a lot of this stuff out. But yeah, let me finish. Let me go and get that cylinder head head gasket set up. That way, before I lose light. So see y'all in just a bit. Alrighty, so this is my setup. I got my engine stand out here. Don't mind the shrubbery. Still got to mow the lawn. And so that's going to support it pretty well on both ends. I don't mind getting this stuff on the engine stand, because it kind of sits out here, it's doing nothing. And this is a cheap Harbor Freight engine stand too, so whatever. This is the stuff I'm gonna use. Copper Permatex copper spray gasket. Like I said, this will help seal up the head gasket a little better than just on its own. And if I get this thick enough, it should help fill in the imperfections in the cylinder head, like that little spot on cylinder 5. And I generally like doing this anyway, just because, especially since I use that roll-off wheel, the cylinder head could be a little bit uneven. especially since it's a used cylinder head as well. So this will help, like I said, fill in those imperfections. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and by the way, I believe that's the part number to the gasket. I don't know if it'll focus or not. No, it's not. 8799 pt. I believe that's the part number for the gasket. Anyway, let me go ahead and start spraying this stuff up. It goes on just like spray paint, so you just shake it till a little ball and it kind of quiets down, and start spraying it. So I'm gonna do 2 coats on per side, and that should be plenty to get this thing to seal up. So I'll see y'all in just a little bit when I get ready to put everything together. Alright, so I got about 3 coats of the copper spray on this gasket. There's a little bit of a better look at the part number. Anyway, I'm just gonna let it dry for a little bit. Apparently, it just only gotta be as long enough to for the solvent to evaporate, which I know it's kind of a vague part of the directions. It's gonna give it like 5 minutes or so. That should be long enough. I had to move it a little bit because just the momentum was causing it to like tap into the engine stand on certain spots, so I'll just have it sitting like that to dry basically. So now I'm gonna take an old cylinder head bolt, clean it up best as I can. Now I'm gonna screw it in and out of all the holes, bolt holes. That way, kind of acts as a thread chaser, but not really. But it's as best as I could do with what I have laying around. So yeah, as long as the car doesn't overheat, I'm good. That's the big thing. Anyway, let me go ahead and get that done. Get back to y'all in just a second once I get all that. Once I get ready to torque this head down. Alrighty, guys. So I did go around and thread chase on the, well, I won't say some, but all the cylinder head bolt holes. As I used an old cylinder head bolt. I just cleaned up the end of it, and I just pretty much went in like that all the way down and all the way back up a couple times. Wiped off the threads each time to get as much of the oil, dirt, and whatever out of there. Natural thread chaser is the proper tool, as it's got the little slot on the side or whatnot to pull all the junk out. Basically, that's to help make the torquing of the cylinder head more consistent, which I just realized I can't really torque the head tonight because I still got to pull apart the other head. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place the gasket down on there, place the cylinder head on top of the gasket, just leave it at be for the day. And tomorrow when I get home from work, hopefully if there's enough light and it's not raining out, I'll pull apart the other cylinder head, then torque it down. Oops, I completely forgot about that, so we'll just let this sit for another day. But yeah. So basically that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the head gasket down on there, make sure, wipe this thing down one more time, get the head gasket, put that down on there, and get the cylinder head and put the cylinder head on, but not torque it down. And that's it. One thing to mention is the FSM for the L series, Datsun Z cars and L series engines and whatnot, say you don't need to put silicone on this little crack right here where the timing cover and then the engine block meet. Some people do, some people don't. I'm not going to do that because I don't have silicone handy. I mean, I do the RTV stuff, that fast setting RTV stuff that I use on the differential cover on the truck. But since it's not necessary, I'm not going to do it. And so there's that. Plus, I don't want to use that stuff. Put that down and it cure overnight before I even have time to torque the cylinder head down. So yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Wipe this down one more time. Wipe the gasket service on the head down one more time, then call it a day. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, so I got the cylinder head on, but it's not officially torqued down because, like I said, I need to get the cam towers and stuff off the other cylinder head. I need to oil up all this stuff right here with the whatchamacallit, and need to set everything at TDC and all that. Well, the camshaft, the engine block is the engine itself is TDC, but I gotta set the camshaft at TDC and all that. I said I gotta put the cam towers on and all that as well. And but like I said, I'm gonna have it sit like this for tonight. That way, the everything's kind of sealed up, at least as well as it can be. Then tomorrow when I get home from work, I'll start tearing apart the other cylinder head, get the stuff I need off of that. I'll put the lash pads back on, put the rockers back on, put the springs back on, the camshaft. Then I'll be able to torque this thing down. And I'll put the camshaft on, put the valve cover on, because I'll be pretty much done with that part. Then it's really just putting the intake and exhaust back on, putting some water in it, and firing it up. So getting close. Oh, I also got to flip this down too, so I'll be able to bypass that heater core. Well, other than that, that's about it. So getting there. It's getting there for sure. Like I said, I think I am going to run the stock exhaust manifold for now, just because I have it and it'll fit this head no problem, fortunately. And yeah. So basically, I'm going to leave it off for today. Like I said, tomorrow I'll button pretty much most of it back up, and yeah. So y'all know what to do: like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram. The username be in the description. And be safe and have fun. Stand by for more videos. Stay tuned for more videos and stuff like that on the Z, the truck, the Buick, whatever. So see you later.